Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your bonus reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 5 of Cups. You're somebody who is very in touch with your emotions. I think that you don't try to ignore or block out how you feel. If you're feeling sort of disappointed or sad in your life, you're going to feel it. And maybe you'll try to figure out why, if there's something particular. Or maybe it's just a feeling, having a bad day. It's going to wash over us. It's going to depart. And we're not going to cling to it. We're not going to grab onto it and identify it. Identify with it, right? Maybe not even identify it either, right? In other words, we don't have to put a label on what we feel. We don't have to try to sort it out. We don't need to intellectualize it or mentalize it. We just have to feel it and let it go. Let it wash over us and go wherever it came from, okay? This could be an acute feeling of disappointment or sadness or sorrow, perhaps loss. I feel that there's something in your life that should be there that isn't there, okay? And I feel like you're dealing with it in your way, how you deal with it. I feel like it is not crushing you. It's not destroying your life. But it's unpleasant, of course. You're trying not to attach yourself to it. You're trying not to use the phrase, I am sad, right? It's just sort of, I have a sadness right now. There's a difference there. And it's kind of like, it's almost a way of realizing that this water energy cannot penetrate you to your absolute spiritual core. It's not changing who you are. Okay? It might change how we think and feel and interact with the world right now, but it's not changing the bigger picture of your life. Okay? I know that sometimes that's hard to fathom when we're in the middle of this, right? Let's just do our best to honor how we feel, acknowledge it, and let it go. Now, at the same time, maybe we can find out why we feel this way, if it is acute, or if it is something more generalized. What does it really mean, right? Well, let's put some more cards out on the table, okay? Anytime we get a 5, we start looking around for the 4. We're ready for things to stabilize. We don't want to feel this way forever, right? We've got the Lust or Strength card. We have a 7 of Pentacles, a 10 of Pentacles, a 2 of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. Wow, okay. We could be suffering a bit of a loss in terms of our financial stability, okay? We could be ultimately feeling this kind of loss, what should be there and isn't, right? Well, this is what should be there, but isn't, okay? And so it may not really have to do with finances or money exactly. What I'm feeling is that we should be living our best life, but we're not. I should be in my best life, but I'm not feeling it right now. I don't feel like I am. Why is that? What should be here but isn't? Maybe it's money. Maybe it's just simply you don't have as much money as you would like. Well, that could be part of it. Maybe that's it. That'd be very simple. Okay? And in some ways, that's easier to solve. Because the alternative is that there's some deeper satisfaction here that shouldn't be here. Maybe this is you with a good job, good money, a lot of financial stability, but there's still, it feels like something is missing. Well, maybe what's missing is the passion. Yeah. Maybe what's missing is the creativity. Maybe what's missing is the zest and the zeal, right? Because without that, we're sort of looking at the Two of Wands producing something, asserting your will, right? Extending your will out into the world, trying to make a difference somewhere, trying to do your magic, right? Trying to manifest something with your intention, with your activities, right? With your inspiration, your idea. It ends up as a Seven of Pentacles. It ends up lacking, right? It's kind of dark. It's sort of, this is a lackluster thing. And instead of feeling the passion and the joy over it, we're sort of feeling like it's not, it's disappointing. I put in all this effort and I thought I was doing my will, but I still feel some kind of disappointment. But maybe if we have this passion, this confidence, this lust energy, right? We have this beast within us that is hungry, right? Maybe that's sort of what we're missing. Maybe it's that we don't have a strong enough connection with what we're doing or how it's being implemented. Okay? Now, Gemini, if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay? Now, we're going to continue. We're going to put the rest of our cards on the table. Path of the Serpent, a Six of Swords, 4. Well, at least we got a 4. But there's the 6. And more of that fiery energy. This is the Princess of Wands. Now, that's somebody who's really, really fired up, right? That's somebody who is almost taking some risks, right? This is somebody who is really focused on the present and really immersed in the moment, staying right here, right now. I think experiencing that joy, that passion, that lust, and that appetite, right? I think this is a very good outcome here. We have to, I think, acknowledge how we feel in this moment, that we are disappointed by something. And maybe the Seven of Pentacles is this feeling as if I'm not really living up to my potential. I know that there's this 10 of Pentacles behind me, but why is it every time I put my effort into something, it only comes out as 7 of Pentacles? It's like I know I could do better. Why is it not? Why am I not crossing that threshold into, something extraordinary, into something magnificent? Maybe the 7 of Pentacles isn't bad, right? But this is something that started to grow and then stopped. Something that got stunted. It got cut off halfway. Maybe it's because of the 5 of Cups. Maybe we sort of lose interest. We start to sort of feel disappointed in what we're doing, and we sort of lose the joy over it. That we get involved. Maybe at the beginning we're very sort of fired up about a project or about a relationship or about anything. But as we start to get involved with it and do it, we sort of lose interest halfway, and then we perhaps abandon it. Or perhaps we just sort of, there's been many times where I've been working on something very intently. I can't think of an example. I used to try to do these little models, where you have to paint the things like airplanes and stuff. And I'd be very meticulous at the beginning, very focused. This is going to be the best. And I'm painting very carefully, right? Quality work. But then as the days go by, it's like, I'm just tired. And I'm just going to paint real quick. All right, it's done. It's a piece of junk, It didn't have the potential because halfway through I sort of lost interest. I lost my patience. I lost my ability to be focused. I didn't love it anymore. Sometimes the 5 of Cups is a change of heart. Yeah. Our feelings are changing towards something. And that's why it's not panning out. But if we look at the horizontal path, it's panning out because it has lust, passion, enthusiasm. Right? On the vertical path, that will is not panning out. It's not producing anything really significant for you. I think it's good. I think it's kind of like, it's a model airplane. I did fine. I'll still hang it from my ceiling or whatever, but it didn't have that wow factor. It didn't have that monumental, extraordinary sort of feeling to it at the end. It was just like, okay, I'm done. It was anticlimactic. There was no joy at the end. There was no grand finale. It was just like, okay, I'm done. I don't think I ever did another model after that, right? But we think of how many times we get really gung-ho about something. Yes, I'm going to love it. And we get halfway through it, or even less, maybe, or maybe more. And we start to feel like, I bit off more than I could chew. Big eyes, little belly here in this situation. And we end up just either abandoning it or rushing through the final stages just so we could say, okay, I'm done, and get it out of here. And there have been many projects that have gone through that phase for me, especially when I did my Jing translation and commentary. It was a grueling process. It took months to do it. And there was a point there toward the end where I was just like, well, maybe I'll just phone it in for the last, the last few pages or whatever, right? Last few hexagrams. And the thought really crossed my mind was, I'll just phone it in. Who cares at this point, right? We've got to try to somehow pull ourselves back and say, no, I care about this. I'm not just going to phone it in. Okay? But there's no denying the fact that you don't feel so in love with this thing anymore. You think that there should be passion here, that if it's something worthwhile to do, you should feel excited to do it. You should feel enthusiastic to do it. But you don't. What does that mean? Does that mean you're on the wrong path? Does that mean that you're not meant to do this? Does this mean that your will is wrong? Or is this just kind of a natural phase of things where we sort of lose a bit of the enthusiasm? We're not as fired up all the time about something, right? We're not every day feeling just so absolutely out of our mind in love with it. Doesn't mean that we don't want it still, Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're going to set it right here with Bob Ross, tiny Bob Ross. Happy little Bob right there on top of that card. We're not going to look at that card till the end, okay? But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments down below. Let's do it together as an exercise of intuition. Let's take a look around the room. We see two major arcana, the Lust and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Sometimes it feels as if this is truly my destiny. I should feel jazzed up about it 24/7, right? If this is going to lead to my absolute prosperity, if this is going to level up my life, if this is going to expand and grow, if it's going to be just this big monumental achievement in my life, and this is my life's work, and this is my fate and my destiny, I should feel always turned on by it, It should always be enthusiasm and lust and this driving force and this grandeur and this stature. We should always feel like we're on top of the world. Well, it doesn't work out that way, right? Some days we're tired. Some days they're stressed out. Some days I just don't want to look at the dang I Ching translation. I don't want to look at the dang airplane model, Just not feeling it. So we've got our majors. I feel, and I kind of have this feeling that you're ready to quit. Like I feel like there is this disappointment, and then in here, just sort of we sort of feel like a failure because, well, I thought this was my will, but it's not. Okay? But I think Spirit's kind of saying that, look, that enthusiasm will return. It could be there are a lot of other things going on. Okay? So I think before we act impulsively up here, I think we give it some time. Okay? We have fire. We've got some good water, a lot of water here. 4, 5, 6 of water. Yeah. Of course, we have our air energy down here. And we've got our earth energies. Now, the progression of the water, I think this is all about the water. It's all about how you feel about something. I think right now we're feeling disappointed. Okay. In the environment, we have a 4 of Cups. I think you're being told to just write it out. Don't let your emotions move you right now. Let things settle down. If you feel the disappointment, if you feel like a failure, if you're maybe worried about failure, or you don't have the effort or the energy to really care about this thing right now, that's fine. Maybe take a step back. Okay? Let your emotions stabilize before we make any decisions. Because the 2 of Wands up here is kind of saying that I'm ready to just sort of do a 180. The Princess of Wands could be very impulsive. This could be a very reckless type of energy. I'm just going to smash this model airplane and throw it away in my frustration. Right? Rather than setting it down, walking away, do something else for a while, letting myself calm down. Because when we have this sort of agitated 5 of Cups, we're not really thinking clearly. It's difficult for these 2 cards to really get to know each other. Okay? In a 5 of Cups, it's difficult to see the 6 of Swords, right? It's only once our emotions calm down that we're able to really see this and perhaps see the connection between these 2 places. Okay? And I think the Leo energy, the lust card, in the relationship with the 5 of Cups, this could be that we're feeling this disappointment, let's say this sadness, or even like this disconnection or just this disgust with something. I just don't like it anymore. I don't care about it anymore. It is in some ways exacerbated by the lust card. That the more we sort of feel it and we just sort of sit in that feeling and we're identifying with it, maybe that's what this fixed fire energy is. This is a Leo energy. There may be a Leo person in your life. If there is, don't engage with them right now. Take a break from them. Okay? Let everybody calm down. Because sometimes this fixed fire energy just says I'm mad and I'm going to stay mad. I'm identified with this emotion and nothing can stop it. You can't pull me out of this. Don't even try because, look, I'm already clenching my fist. You're fixed. You're identified with that emotion. So let's give it some time. Yeah. Let's give it some time. I want this Wheel of Fortune to be some confirmation and reinforcement for you. It is in the very center of the tarot table today. It is the axis mundi. Literally, we're talking about the axle of the wheel here. Every other card here is centered around this: your fate, your destiny, your prosperity, your profit, your wealth. Right? The realization of your wealth, the leveling up of your life, of your wealth, of whatever this 10 of Pentacles is. This is sort of this is the poster of your best life that you might put on your, put on your wall. When you're a kid, you kind of tape up the posters on your wall of what you sort of want to be when you grow up, So what is this for you, the 10 of Pentacles? Get out a sheet of paper. Get out a pencil. Draw a picture of your best life. Yeah. I got to find a way that you all can share these pictures with me. I want to see what you draw, Even if you're terrible at drawing, just do stick figures like I do, right? Or just make a list. That's easy too. But the key here is to understand what it is that you really want in life. What does wealth look like to you? What does your best life look like? Well, I want to have my health. I want to have the health of my family. I want to have enough resources that I can provide for my family, that we can do things together, and I can give my daughter the best opportunities that I can, within reason, within the confines of our circumstances, you know. I want to have a long, healthy life. Not for me, but for my family. See, I had a liver transplant 14 years ago, almost 15. Next year it'll be 15 years. And I wasn't expecting to live much more than 5 or 10 years beyond that transplant. Here it is 15 years later. I'm completely off meds, okay? It was not an easy process. But then having our daughter made me realize that I really need to have that goal as a number one goal in my life, my health and well-being, because I don't want to have to abandon her at a young age. Now, we had our daughter. She's 4 now. I'm 44. I've never told you that. I'm 44 years old. My wife and I, we didn't have her when we were young. Okay? So I'm going to be really old by the time she's a teenager, right? And when she's an adult and a young adult and stuff. So I have to make it a priority that I stay healthy as long as possible so that I can continue to be of service to her in her future. That's all that matters, you know. I'm starting to get a little teary-eyed. So that's pretty high on my list of my best life, right? My best life is being healthy into my old age, to where I can still be there for her and have some sort of clarity of mind that I can still have a conversation with her, you know, and watch her grow up and be there for whatever she may need of me for as long as I can, right? Even when I'm tired and I'm ready to go, I want to stick around for her, you know. And then I think that's pretty much it. That encompasses my entire 10 of Pentacles. But I also want to have a sense of purpose. I want to feel that what I spend my time doing every day is worthwhile. And I feel like I'm achieving that here, doing these readings for you. I feel like this is where I belong. Okay? Some days it's not easy. Some days I feel ill, right? Some days this 5 of Cups is me just not wanting to get out of bed, feeling sick under the weather. You know, it could be me feeling like I'm not making a difference. Nobody cares. It's not helping anybody. I'm not understanding the messages properly, right? That I've got too much stuff going on with me, that I can't be that clear conduit, that pure sort of, messaging system. And some days it just feels like the passion is gone out of it, right? And that's normal. That's the thing, it's normal, right? That passion will return. And in those moments, you take a day off, you step away from it, right? Or you sort of do something a little bit different. You make some sort of changes, right? You spice it up a little bit to get a little bit of that passion. But I do want to find a way for you all to draw your picture of your best life and to be able to share that in a community setting, okay? Now, maybe we could do something through Facebook. I'd like there to be some sort of way on YouTube here for us to share that. If anybody has any ideas, please let me know. But this is that ideal. This is that picture of your best life that you want to attain. It's your will to achieve that. And I think this Wheel of Fortune is saying you're going to. It's going to be extraordinary, okay? We've just got to deal with some of these fluctuating emotions and this 7 of Pentacles underneath the surface. Sometimes we could be doing marvelous work out in the world, but we'll still feel like, I didn't do enough. I'm a failure, right? And sometimes it doesn't even have to be articulated. Sometimes this is the idea that we're doing these wonderful readings. They're very long. They're very detailed. I think it's very connected. It's in the flow. It's coming right down the pipeline. But at the end of the day, it still feels like I didn't do enough. I should have made them I should have explained these cards differently. I should have seen this other connection. I feel like I couldn't articulate things the right way, you know. And so there can be this underlying feeling of almost underachieving or even inadequacy. We look at these two cards together, the 5 and the 7. This is a fear of being inadequate. This is that feeling of I'm just not worthy of it. I'm just letting people down. You know, there's a fear of failure, but there's the melancholy that goes with it that just says I don't know what to do. I don't feel the joy. I don't feel that enthusiasm, that passion every moment of my life. Right? Well, if you're doing your will, and you are committed to doing your will, you will not always feel joy, right? Life is not just the pursuit of pleasure, okay? But it is the pursuit of happiness. It is the pursuit of manifesting your will, doing what you're meant to do. Sometimes our human heart and mind is going to feel bored or inadequate, not up to the challenge, or just under the weather. I'm not feeling like getting out of bed today. Okay? And in some cases, the Two of Wands has to be that Mars and Aries, I'm just going to fight until it works. I'm just going to push through and force it. You know, brute force sometimes, right? And sometimes, are any of you coders out there, brute force. Just putting all your processing power to tackle that task head on. Not looking for shortcuts, not looking for any kind of life hacks. It's just, I'm pushing up against that wall as hard as I can. Eventually, it's going to fall down. You may feel that you have been working so hard for something, pushing up against the wall, whatever that wall is, pushing up, let's say, against the ceiling, right? Trying to raise the roof, remember that? And it's not giving way. We keep pushing. We keep pushing even when we're sort of feeling like I'm sore, I hurt, I'm tired, I'm sad, I'm about to cry, but I'm still pushing with all my might. And it is through that intense effort. Just when the gorilla's got you by the short hairs and you're about to quit, that's when you know you're close, right? When things are just the worst they could be, that's the breaking point. That's when you're going to level up. That's when we're going to get this huge Jupiter jackpot expansive energy. And I think that the lust or strength card here can be used in that sense of the reserve gas in the tank. The gorilla's got you by the short hairs, you're about to give up, and then somehow you just summon this extra human energy, and you give it one final push, and the thing gives way. Yeah. Just when you're about to quit, just when you feel that you've got nothing left, that's when you sort of need this berserk rage, to push yourself forward. But in this situation with this other person, who may be a Leo person, just take some time away. That could be part of the process here, is to give it some time. And we sort of got that with the Four of Cups in the environment. Let things cool down. Things are pretty heated and emotional right now. Let them calm down. Okay? Even if it means we're going to agree to disagree, even if it means we're not going to talk, right? There's this icy, cold shoulder sort of feeling here with this 4. That's okay. It's better than raging, right, at this person. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It's free, supports the channel, and I really, really do appreciate that. Yeah. Your 6 of Swords down here is your general energy. You're somebody that has a very solid plan here. I think that you know your will. You know your picture of your best life. You know what it's going to be. And I feel like you know the way to get there. You know what it's going to take. you know the path, right? You got the blueprint here. Just because you have the blueprint doesn't mean that the building is going to be easy to build. Okay? It doesn't mean that it's going to be all smooth sailing from here. No. It's not going to be smooth sailing. Okay? But it is the right path. And if we start changing anything now, see that two of wands, if we sort of make that executive decision to make a 90-degree turn or something, I think we're headed into chaos. We're headed into uncertain waters, which is, sort of worse than just saying, okay, we're going through a storm now, and that's okay. We'll get the love back. We'll get that passion back. We just have to get through the storm. Going off trail now is asking for more disasters. It's kind of like you're lost in the national forest or something, right? You stay on the trail. You're going to go off trail, you're done for, right? You stay on the trail, even if the terrain is difficult, even if you don't know if you're even going in the right direction, at least there's a trail. So it must lead somewhere, right? You start wandering around in the dark, in the thick of the forest, you don't know which way's up, right? And that's going from order to chaos. See all that static outside there. That's the static of the mind. And in all of that static, we've pulled out the blueprint. We managed to see with clarity what our path is. Don't go back to the static. Don't go back to the confusion and the chaos. All right? Maintain the order. In other words, maintain the routine, keep doing what you're doing, just give it some time if you have to sort of avoid this person or take a break from that person, or if you have to step away temporarily, do so. But we're not throwing out the plan. We're going to stick to the plan, okay? And to do that, I think we need our Four of Cups. I think that the feeling of apathy here is very interesting, right? Because this kind of says I care a lot. I care too much. This says I don't care at all. This might have to be where we just sort of grit our teeth and we just smile through the pain and say, I'm fine, it's okay, don't worry about it, we're all good, until we can just really calm down, until we can really be okay and we get that tranquility back. We don't want to linger here too long. This is like a sailboat, right? That had to flee a storm, went into a nice little cove, dropped anchor. Nice. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to relax. I'm going to let the storm go by. And then you're going to get back on the water, right? Then you're going to get back to your navigation plan. You're going to start following the direction. You're going to go back out to sea. Get back on course, right? Because the Four of Cups, sometimes it feels good to be away from the storm. It feels good to be in this cove. And now that I'm here, I don't know if I want to go back out to sea. Right? So sometimes, as soon as we sit down and rest, it feels so good. We don't want to get up again. It's what they would say to people climbing Mount Everest. Don't ever sit down when you're climbing. Chances are you won't get up again because you realize how tired you are. I don't realize how tired I am till I get in bed at the end of the night, till I lay flat. Then I say, oh, my wife, you ask her, I groan. I say, oh, gosh, I'm so tired, But otherwise, we're up, we're active, we're doing stuff. We're in the fight, we're in the fire, we're in the storm. It's not till we sort of settle down that we realize how tired we are. And it's difficult to get up in the morning, But we have to. We have to force ourselves to do it. We need the discipline. We need this fiery Mars and Aries energy to continue pushing through. When you don't feel the passion, when you don't feel that motivation, sometimes we just have to motivate ourselves. And sometimes this is taking a rest, taking some time for yourself, some self-care, enjoying something that's unrelated, doing something to sort of restore and sort of restabilize ourselves. Because the Four of Cups is not a bad card. It is a temporary resting place. It is a stability. It is temporary, right? It's kind of saying, look, I'm taking a day off and I'm just going to treat myself. I'm going to get some ice cream. I'm going to stay in bed and watch TV. I'm going to sleep, you know? And I'll feel better in a day or two. Yeah. Especially if you feel that you're starting to get sick, right? And I wonder how many of you are experiencing this kind of like we're trying to fight off a cold. My throat's been sore for days now. We're trying to fight off a cold, you know? And we just keep pushing ourselves. We say, if I just keep doing what I'm doing and I ignore it, I'm going to be okay. As soon as I sort of sit down and admit that I don't feel good, that's when it's going to hit me like a ton of bricks and I'm going to be in bed, you know? So it's kind of like we don't want to deviate from the routine because that's going to be inviting that sickness to really take hold. Well, I don't know that it works that way. I think it does psychologically, but also if we're burning the candle at both ends, it's affecting our immune system. We're going to end up getting sicker, right? And then it's not a matter of us admitting anything. It's going to take hold and it's going to drop us. You know, it's going to lay us low in our beds, probably for longer than it would have. Okay, so I kind of wonder, there's a lot of different angles to this, right? And sometimes our lust energy is this vibrant, robust feeling of health and vitality. I'm an animal. I can do all of it all day long, right? And then the five is kind of like, ooh, I got a tickle in my throat. I got a little cough. My head kind of aches. I'm going to just ignore that, and I'm just going to rage through it. I'm going to fake it until this little cold realizes that I'm not going to put up with it, and it gets the heck out of here, right? I don't know if it works that way. Because then I think we're really laid low, and Seven of Pentacles, right? Then we sort of aren't making any progress. Something has been stopped. The progress has been halted. The train comes to a screeching halt here. Okay. So if we're feeling this way, emotionally or even physically, we want to stick to the plan, but we also need to take that time to make sure we care for ourselves and let things stabilize and let things cool down. Okay. Now, the really beautiful card, the Six of Cups, pleasure, right? A real joy, a real satisfaction here. It's in the obstacle. It's the difficulty. I think it is, it's the difficulty for us to realize that if I go back out to sea, it's not just going to be another storm. How do I know that if I pull up the anchor and set sail back to the open ocean, that I'm not just going to be in another storm? How do I know that this joy and satisfaction is even going to be there? Yeah, I'm doing my will, and I'm doing what I need to do in life, right? I'm doing the picture of my best life. I'm doing my best to manifest it. What if I don't like it? What if I don't feel good? What if I don't feel a sense of connection? Right? So sometimes the Six of Cups is that sense of community, communication, and unity. Okay? We've got to be able to enjoy the life that we're building as we're building it. And if you're not taking any time for yourself or any time to sort of smell the roses or sample the fruit, right? Then it's going to create this continual process. We're going to be right back in that Five of Cups again. So sometimes in this position, the Six of Cups is saying, I'm worried I'm never going to have a good day. I'm worried I'm never going to have any joy. There's nothing that I enjoy in life anymore, you know? We don't want to get to that point. We certainly don't want that to be our perception of things. So I think our attitude has a lot to do with it. Our perception, the things that we tell ourselves, or what we sort of, our optimism or our pessimism. Oh, we'll never have a good day, right? Or we could look at this as like, hey, you know what? My best days are still in front of me. and I can have joy, and I can have connection. And I think you really do want connection. You want love. You want community. You want a relationship with your loved ones, you know? And maybe that's part of that Five of Cups, just something that should be there, but it's not there. Well, yeah, it's the joy. It's the passion. It's the love. It's the connection. Okay? And our Princess of Wands at the end can be risky behavior. It can be impulsivity, you know, that if we feel that this is not satisfying, well, then I'm just going to go do some other random thing that feels good in the moment. Because the Princess of Wands is all about the moment. I'm going to do what I want now. I got this impulse, I'm going to do it. There's no logic, there's no rhyme or reason behind it. But if we take that in context with our Six of Swords, now we have calculated risk. Now we have an honest sort of evaluation that says, maybe I can do a few things a little bit differently. Maybe I can rearrange a couple things. Maybe I can add a little bit of spice. Maybe I can schedule a day off, right? Maybe I can, find a way to make room for that Six of Cups. Yeah. For that joy, that connection. Yeah, because there's nothing, I think, worse than achieving all of your sort of practical goals, but still feeling as if there's something missing. And that's what's missing is the 6. We want to take that 5. We want it to become a 6. Well, I think to do that, we have to stop by the 4 first, and then we can jump directly to that 6. Yeah. Let's look at our mystery card. Maybe 6 of Cups, yeah. I think maybe it'll be the Strength card again. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Yeah. Let's see what we have. 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is busting your butt. The strength that you have to endure burning the candle at both ends. This is someone who's looking a little worse for the wear. This is someone that needs to lie down. Sort of like a lie down before you fall down kind of energy. Yeah. It's strength. It's saying, yeah, you can push through, right? You can accomplish what you need to accomplish. But are you going to be whole at the end of it? Are you going to be capable of enjoying what you're creating, or of even witnessing it? Or are you going to collapse at the finish line and be done? Okay? So I think that really there's a need here for some rest, minimum. Or take a rest. Yeah. It's kind of like saying, look, the work is always going to be there. And if you want to have the certain 6 of Cups, the enjoyment of the thing, or the community, or the health of it, or the longevity, you've got to be okay with taking a little bit of extra time now. I feel like there's this sense of urgency in you where you just want to rush. You need to get it done as fast as you can. Right? Because your time maybe is limited. Well, your time's going to be more limited if you don't focus on your self-care. Heal yourself. Allow yourself the rest and the recuperation. Allow yourself the enjoyment, right? Before the whole system kind of breaks down. So sometimes the strength that we have is not the strength to just continue to push forward no matter what, but the strength to say, I need to go lie down, The strength, the confidence. It's not a threat, it's not a weakness to say, I need help, or I need to take a break, right? Or I need something. I feel like you're someone who's very reluctant to ask for help, very reluctant to admit so-called weakness. by saying, I need help, or I need to lay down, or I got to take a break. You could be so sick, right? Terribly sick, but you're still, I'm fine. I could do it. Instead of saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm sick. I got to go lay down. Okay. Now, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around for that, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Gemini, Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.